give me a moment, real quick. I'm just trying to get some viewership going on. We just want to talk about couple of events as we stream through. If you guys would be hopefully tuning on this channel. We're going to be talking about really the tense climate that we're facing really in this country. There's just no question in my mind that things are going crazy with the vaccines, with the economy, the foreign policy. Now, I think I've barely ever talked about foreign policy in this channel, but the thing is that we know that the powers that be, and the address to Congress was just obviously such a failure in terms of viewership. We got half as the one that a similar speech was done about a year ago. We know that there's a lot of failed promises. I was just watching how there's still pipeline explosions. There's no plan to reduce drug prices. But I guess my really concern is, are we really headed to another war? Because I think a lot of people are realizing that we're really getting sick of the military-industrial complex. It's just absolutely getting out of hand. There's just no question about it. Right now, as you could see here, that there's a lot of talks about war. And the powers that be, the establishment, the military-industrial complex, they know that they are going to continue to do what they can to get us into more military conflicts, because as you know, it's usually about perpetuating the financial system, the petrodollar, the military-industrial complex. Banks make a lot of money from it, regime changes, it has to do with religion. There's a number of different aspects of why we have war. Resources, the opium fields, they talked about, we're going to pull out of Afghanistan, but we're still there. And they're going to increase defense spending. So just to let you know, a lot of people are saying, it's a progressive thing to do to take out of defense spending and put it into social programs. But again, why are we seeing increases in defense spending? That's what's really the question. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on in the foreign policy, and I've seen a lot of different views about this. You guys need to ask me some questions and give me some comments right now. So if you're watching this right now, please send me some questions, send me some comments. Things are really heating up in Ukraine. We're seeing tension continue to grow. Is there going to be war against Ukraine? Is there going to be more documents revealing about the whole Hunter Biden story? Now, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of conflict of interest. What is going on with the Hunter Biden story? Are we going to see war in Ukraine? What's happening? You guys, please give me a question. Give me some comments. Are they trying to seize Crimea? Is there going to be World War III? What's happening with China? I heard a lot of rumors that they hacked the election. Do you think that we're going to see war with China? That could be really devastating to our supplies. What about North Korea? Is there going to be World War III, where North Korea and China will be allies and then they're going to be against us? What's happening in the Middle East? There's certainly more tensions flaring up in Syria. What do you guys think about the whole John Kerry situation? That, they're trying to cover it up and basically met with Iranian leaders. Now, I'm concerned about Iran because, again, I'm obviously Iranian American. I need to know what's going on. Now, I just have a question right here. So no war in Ukraine. We don't have the assets that our army will get rolled by Russia. Okay, well, that makes a pretty good point. But do you think that maybe they know that, but they're trying to do that because there's some kind of agenda involved that's going on? What's exactly going on? What's happening with Iran? Now, you have to understand the U.S. did meddle with it. In 1953, we removed the Shah. We meddled, I believe, in 1979, which caused the Iranian Revolution. This is one of the reasons why Iran isn't as successful compared to many countries around the world. compared to nearby countries, particularly in the Gulf states like Qatar and the UAE. So what's happening? Are they the terrorists? Are they trying to bomb all these other countries? Or do they hate America? Is it because they're trying to attack Israel? Is Israel really the problem? We're saying that Israel is our ally. Is Israel trying to destroy the Middle East? I've heard a lot of dirty things about what's happening in Israel. Israel is behind the conflict in Syria and Iraq. Of course, the Iraq War. I've heard a lot of dirty things about AIPAC. So what is exactly going on? Are the Iranian people great people? Maybe there's just some dirty elements in Iran that needs to be taken care of. I really need to know what is going on. But I can tell you this, I'm sick and tired of the military interventions. I'm tired of the military-industrial complex. Maybe the reason why they raided Giuliani's home is because he might have some classified information about Hunter Biden. They know you want Iran bombed. Well, I don't know what that exactly means. Maybe you can retype that again, please. But as far as I know, I think there's pretty much a likelihood that there's going to be military conflict in Iran. But maybe Giuliani, regarding that, maybe he generally had some documents about the election, about what was going on in Russia. Maybe it's a distraction from the Arizona election audit. If the Democrats are saying, oh, well, we have to defend ourselves, they're trying to rig the election, the people that we can't say want Iran bombed. Okay, I guess what you mean. I guess you know what you're talking about, okay? I guess you're referring to as the 2% of the population and they control so much of this country. Is that what you're referring to? Is that what you're referring to? Yes or no? Yeah. So about Arizona election audit, maybe they're trying to cover it up. I mean, if the Democrats are really proud that they won the election, why don't they show us proof? They're not. They're trying to hide it. They're trying to lawyer up. The Soros machine is trying to do what they can. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you're saying that the so-called 2% of the population, the same people that I guess, that the media and the YouTube and all these other people that keep censoring us, they want military conflict. Okay, I see what you mean. Now, I hear a lot of other things that's not true. They're our greatest allies. That I hear a lot of things that's about other groups, the Jesuits, the Vatican. But I guess what's the ultimate goal of this? They, in small hats, want Syria and Iran gone. No secret. Well, okay. I guess that's what they really, really want, right? They are you talking about the greater you-know-what project, the greater Israel project? Is that what you're talking about? And so, but what is their role in Russia? What is their role in Ukraine? What is their role in China and North Korea? What is going on? Now, do you think that the United States, along with Europe and Israel, is going to be having a war against Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, Russia, China, and North Korea? Is that where we're headed to? What do you guys think is going to happen? Where are we headed with all this? It's some really scary times. The small hats, biggest threats are Iran and Syria. Okay, but can you please answer the question? What about China? What about Russia? What about those countries? I'm just getting a lot of misleading information about our foreign policy, half-truths. This whole Russia gate has been used to bully people around. Russia this, Russia that. But we know it was all basically a distraction. And if you watch the movie or the film, Total Proof, the documentary from Mike Lindell, he talks about how foreign intervention happened in our elections. So maybe this is why they intervened, because they wanted all these military conflicts. Okay, I need more commentators. Come on, folks. Let me know what you think. What is happening? Do you think we're going to see increased military conflicts? Who are the ugly players? What's going on? I'm giving you guys time to decide. What do you guys think? China does not have to do much with anything. We are destroying ourselves. Okay, so then what's the plan? So you make a good point. We are destroying ourselves. We've destroyed the family. We've destroyed the genders. Biden is taunting Russia to distract from the main event, which is the Communist Chinese Party. Okay, that's a very good point. So what is China trying to do to the U.S.? Are they trying to take over the U.S.? Because we know they produce so much of our goods. They know they're buying up our real estate. They're probably doing right now. So what's going on? I did a video about South Coast Plaza. Maybe you can see the impacts there in Orange County, California. So what is the goal behind China? What are they trying to do? China is buying up our land. Okay, so then what's the ultimate goal? They want to buy up our land. Our trade deals as a result is because that when we send those dollars overseas, they buy up our assets. And that's largely real estate. I get it. So what's the ultimate goal? They want to own everything. They want to tear up our sovereignty. They want to own our rental properties. They want to jack up our rents. Is that how it goes? I mean, they're talking about universal basic income. As a result, do you think our universal basic income is going to afford all that? Get rid of religion. We try to use China, but they became too successful. So they basically fooled us, right? They basically fooled the American people. China already owns our politicians. China sees that role leaders of the world. Okay, so China owns our politicians, right? China wants world homogeneity to use the yuan to be the world reserve currency. The pound sterling went to be from the dollar after the World War II. So they're going to be the world's reserve currency. I thought we're going to have a new world reserve currency or something like that. I don't know. So China is going to own America. They already own our politicians. They're going to set our new world reserve currency. Now, I've heard rumors that China is going to collapse because they're in a bubble economy. I heard India might be the next superpower. Who was supposed to be Antichrist that Hillary was going to hand the U.S. to? Antichrist. Well, I don't know who you're referring to, but you're going to have to explain a little bit more because I'm focused on my thought. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's just a takeover. Now, when you mean our politicians, I guess you assume like there's 80% of the people in Congress or state legislature. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Sisolak has a lot of ties to the Communist Chinese. Are they going to give these resort hotels to the Communist Chinese? Maybe that's why, as you know, Steve Wynn, Sheldon Adelson have pulled out. The USA will be a vassal state of the Communist Chinese if we don't get our act together. Well, I really do believe Steve married the Chinese. Okay, that's pretty obvious. I've seen that woman many times, by the way. And she says, "Oh, stop Asian hate in the Chinatown." That was like a couple of days after I passed out all the flyers. Remember that? Yeah. It's just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, they're really owning our politicians. They may buy up all the hotels and casinos. But I guess the only way out of this is, I've talked about this many, many times, is if the United States were to break up. That's precisely what I'm referring to. When you think about it, I guess Idaho, Nebraska, Kentucky, much of the South will just have to consider breaking apart of the United States. We're going to have to say no to globalism. A lot of states are using their 10th Amendment rights to block a lot of policies. How do we break up? Okay, well, I'm going to show you how you break up. You can fight for alternative currencies. That's one thing. I think many state legislatures like Kansas and South Carolina, we're already a servant of China, no question. So why don't we speak to state legislatures in Idaho, in Wyoming, in many other states that would consider blocking Chinese influence in our country? Because we don't have to have them buying up our real estate and buying up our properties. Maybe that's something we can do that. A break was already tried in the Okay, look, folks. Just because we broke up does not mean it's going to fail again. All right? Back then, we didn't have the internet. Back then, the people were much different. So I really think if we can try, we can fight again. Like they say, give me liberty or give me death. This is really a life and death situation. I'm not kidding, folks. I'm not kidding. The Davos crowd have his bet that the Communist Chinese Party want us to break it. They want us balkanized and weak. Democrats and rhinos are helping. There will be no peaceful separation. Sorry, the blue helmets will be calling to force the deep state if the army will not. Well, bring it on. Bring it on. I don't care. Let's break it apart. You know, a lot of the military men are the people who want sovereignty, who don't want globalism. You can see how they treated them, you know, the days after January 6th when they were guarding the Capitol. Bring it on. We have to fight. I'm not going to live under a communist, fascist dictatorship for the rest of my life. I'm 28 years old, for heaven's sakes. Who do you think these people are? Piece of crap. There will be no peaceful separation. All right. So speaking about that, if they wanted to tear us apart, I really do think that some of the states could be allies and defeat the communist Chinese. I really think that is obviously a possibility. The rank and file of the military wants sovereignty, and they would fight. Okay, that's my point. Let's fight. We live in a mess way too deep to solve any peaceful measures. A lot of the top families, like the Rothschilds, well, I think there's many other families, like not just the Rothschilds, that are out there that we don't even know. I have a feeling Rothschilds are covering up the much bigger families. What do you think of the Free State? Absolutely, it's a step forward. Let's do it. I heard New Hampshire is on it. I heard many other states are definitely on it. We can certainly do that. All right, everybody, I'm really, really sorry. I just, basically what happened to me is I just, as you know, it has issues before. I don't know what exactly happened, but apparently my live stream basically got caught. I don't know. I think my phone got overheated because I was charging it. And then apparently what happened was the fact that, the phone got really overheated. The general officer corps is left. They starts about the rank and colon file of the first sergeant is enlisted. Okay, let's see here. Enlisted, a high percentage of lower enlisted are freedom lovers. Okay, well, but I guess we outnumber them. YouTube, okay, well, hello, Sandro. Hello, Cherie. Cherie, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah. So basically what I was just trying to say is that the bottom line is we outnumber them. I think the media tries to make us believe that the vast majority of people approve of this crap. And that's what's really, really the problem. But bottom line is I just don't really see it, to be honest with you. Because I just think that, the vast majority are just sick of the Antifas and all these different things. It's really disgusting what Antifa has become. I don't know if you watch Tim Pool, but he talks about Antifa at a time we're really effective. We were fighting against globalism, the World Trade Organization in Seattle. But now you see what they've become. They've become tools of the globalist, corporatist Wall Street establishment and using identity politics to distract us from all the major issues affecting our country. The military reflects the feeble. Fellow vets I know have come are hardcore left, and they are tough combat vets. And the vast majority are just opposed to it. They're getting, look at the viewership of the Oscars. Sadly, my family absolutely approve of this. I am from Sweden, where the military left have been rampant since the 90s. Yeah, well, it's just really unbelievable. But, I mean, what do you think, by the way? Are we going to see more wars? Are we going to see more conflicts? I mean, maybe this will accelerate. And I forgot to point out the deficit crisis so bad. And you look at the deficit spending for all these government programs to keep people afloat, the military spending. A lot of countries I've heard are pulling out of the dollar. Even a lot of so-called people who are bullish in the stock market, the not doom and gloomer crowd, they're even saying that the US dollar will no longer be the world's reserve currency. And a lot of people are not going to buy up our treasury bonds. So there's going to be some obstacles with all this spending. And if we do all this spending, there's going to come to a time where we may not do all this military interventions. I mean, these are all signs of a decaying, rotting empire. And we may have to rebuild America, our cities, our family life. I mean, just when you think about it, folks, it's just so much of our country is in such a mess. Our food supply, now this apple I'm eating, they say it's organic, but who knows? They could still use a lot of pesticides. That's what's really, really thing. Iran is afraid of the Sunnis will take over Iraq and a new war will begin. Well, yeah, I mean, as you know, a lot of this is religion. I mean, can't you see that around the world there's a war against Protestant Christians? That's where all the mass immigration is happening. And Shiite Muslims. They want to get rid of these people, folks. They want to destroy their civilization. Maybe this is why people just despise Iran. Maybe this is why Iran just seems to be immune from a lot of the problems of Islam, even though it's an Islamic country. That's the thing. But look at our country. We've destroyed our family. We've destroyed our genders. People are in so much in debt. You look at the food supply. You look at the media. You look at pop culture. There's a lot of red flags in our country. You look at the media. Just so much of what we have is so, I mean, artificial. You look at our economic system, you look at our architecture. Let this thing crumble down. Maybe we can rebuild from in between. That's what's really, really going on. I mean, our medical services are not providing real health care. You look at the vaccines, all these different things, the prescription drugs, they're not helping us. You look at our schooling system, they're not providing real education. Look what they're doing to public safety. You know, they're not providing real, true law and order. And they're going after people who are doing good things in society. We're in a very, very crisis mode in this country. There's just no question about it. I don't know, man. What do you guys all think? Where are we headed?